There are things of darkness and shadow that walk our world. They ever exist on that borderline between legend and reality. But sometimes they will cross over to encounter us. We must be ready for that engagement. We must stand strong and firm in our resolve to face the unknown and embrace the mystery. The time has come to go. Hunting the shadows. Hello and good evening out there in podcast land. This is your humble host, Dennis Carroll, and this is a special edition of Hunting the Shadows. Now, some of you people might say, well, what's happened to you, Dennis? You're messed up. This is not Wednesday night. No, it's not. This is Tuesday night, but this is a special edition of Hunting the Shadows. We're going to have a little fun tonight, and this is Walpurgis night, okay? The most evil night of the year, besides Halloween. Okay. It's also known as Beltane. And on the wheel of the year, this is the end of winter and the beginning of spring. Okay. This is ushering in summer. And it's the opposite of Halloween, which ushers in the winter, the death of fall and the coming of winter. We're going to talk a little bit more about that tonight. I've got some interesting stuff, some other things to talk about. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat tonight. It's good to have you all here. War Criminal, Kyle Smith, the girl in her gong, Melissa, Lester, Aussie Sue, and we've got Roger. Hello, Roger. Got the girl in her gong, yes. And we've got some other people drifting in here as Russell, and David Lester, my brother. How you doing? And John Tim Prime. How you doing, John? Good to have you here, bud. And we're going to have hopefully a interesting show for you tonight. Now, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we'll be Hunting the Shadows, but it will be episode 33. This is episode 32, okay? This will be episode 33 tomorrow night, and I'm going to begin my series tomorrow night, and we're going to pick out one subject every week. It's called The Creatures of the Night, okay? And we're going to actually, since there's been a little interest in it, this one, we're going to talk trolls tomorrow night, okay? Trolls, you're going to find this a very interesting thing. Remember now, I recommended that you watch that movie, The Troll Hunter. If you haven't seen it, you need to catch it. It's free. It's on Tubi for free, okay? Check it out. You will be glad you did. It is a good movie. But we're going to definitely be talking about trolls. There's other things out there in the dark besides Bigfoot and Dogman, okay? A whole lot more out there, folks. And we're going to be talking about that in the coming series. Creatures of the Night. Let me flip my lid here. And, it's getting a little bit warm in here tonight. Definitely. But welcome to Walpurgis night. Okay, let me read you a little something about that right quick. Of course, some of you will be familiar with this if they keep up with my Facebook. But for those who don't, here you go is a little something about Walpurgis night, and this is what it says. Okay, tonight, April 30th, is Walpurgis night, or as it is known in Scandinavian and Germanic folklore, Hexen night. Hexen night. Okay, witches night. That's what that means. Walpurgis is the traditional end of winter in many northern countries and is also known as the most evil night of the year. A night of protection, prayers, and bonfires. The time when demons run rampant, spirits wander, and witches dance. Bram Stoker wrote of this night in Dracula's Guest as a true night of dark evil. At night of all nights of the year. This night, when the devil supposedly revels with his children, is thought to be far more sinister than Halloween. So be careful out there tonight. Stay out of the shadows and don't wander too far from home or from the light. But I've got a light going for you tonight. Got the white candle lit here. That drives away the darkness. Okay, white is a good color to burn, all right? It's purifying. Absolutely. And so I'm purifying my environment tonight. Yeah, it's the spot. We got some more. We got Scott's Life in here. Hello, Scott's Life. Good to have you. And I'm going to be, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about, telling you a little bit more about Walpurgis night. And the Walpurgis night, of course, it starts at sundown on April 30th. Okay. So it's just about to begin where I'm at. And Walpurgis night, unless you're in Australia, of course, like Aussie Sue, it's already been. You're on May Day. May Day, the 1st of May, used to be a big celebration. You've heard of the maypole dance. The maypole was a pole that was put up. It had streamers on it. It had ribbons on it. You decorated it very much like a Christmas tree. Okay, and the Christmas tree is another time for the festival of the tree, where you bring in nature into your house or into your domicile. That's what happens with the Christmas tree. But the maypole is outside. But it is the center of the celebration of spring. And they dance around the maypole. And they hold ribbons. And they go around. The boys will go one way. The girls will go another way. And they twist. The ribbons twine within each other. That's the way you do the dance. In some parts of the world, they still have a maypole. Okay. It's very interesting. Hello, good to have you here, brother. And it's very interesting stuff because this was a big time of the year. It was the end of winter. It means summer's coming, better weather. Get the crops planted. Send the cows out into the summer pastures. It was a good time of the year, and they celebrate it. But right before that night, which is where we're at right now, Walpurgis night was considered to be the most evil night of the whole year, even more so than Halloween, because this is the night when the veil grows thin. Okay, the veil is very thin, and the spirits of your ancestors will come back home. Okay, that's what they believe. And they had big bonfires at night to drive away the evil spirits. And they would pass their cattle in between the bonfires to give them health and safety and everything for the rest of the year. And then they would put out all the fires in the house, and they would relight them with the fire from the bonfires. It was supposed to be very good luck to do that. Hello, Sweet Pea. So that's very interesting. Okay, in my book, you had a lot of superstition and folklore tied into this night. As I said, it has another name, Beltane. And it's a big night and a big celebration for witches and for satanic cults and for people that are out to do evil, because this is the most supposedly evil night of the year. Okay. Hello, Shiro. Good to have you here. Okay, doing supper. Boy, I wish I was there to help you eat that, Shiro. Definitely would. But anyway, um, this is the most supposedly evil night, and there's a reason for it, because this is the night when the witches revel. And they're supposed to, according to folklore, especially in the Harz Mountains, they're supposed to head for the Brocken. There's a big place up there in the mountains. It's supposed to be a glen where all the witches meet with their boss, the devil, supposedly. Okay, so there's a lot of folklore tied in with this night. And like I said earlier, it is mentioned, if you've seen the movie Dracula, and I'm talking about the old movie. That's the night that Jonathan Harker goes to see Dracula. He meets him on Walpurgis night. And that's why they didn't want to get him a coach. They said, "Oh, wait till dawn. Tonight's Walpurgis night." And they cross. They say, "Oh, we're going to go out on this night. This is an evil night. There are vampires and werewolves and ghosts and demons out there." And so they, hello, Rhonda. They were very leery about traveling tonight. Okay. So that's why I said you might be able to stay home and stay in the light. Light a candle. Don't forget the white candle that you might want to light. And we got a few other things I'm going to talk about too. But I was going to say this. I have known a good many witches. Okay. I don't hang out with witches. Okay. But I have known a good many of them. I had a very good friend who was a witch. She was a beautiful woman. Very nice, very kind. And she helped me out with some things. She knew that we did not see eye to eye, but we respected each other. You know what I'm saying? She knew what I stood for. I knew what she stood for. It was a choice of belief. So all witches are not evil people. Some other, I consider them to be misguided people in my own humble opinion. But they're not all evil, satanic creatures of the night, out to kill people and do the stuff. Although there are some that do that. You do have the dark black witches who practice the dark arts. You definitely have them, and this is their night. Okay, this is a big night for them, and but that is what you got to watch out for out there. And I have to wonder. I was just thinking tonight, watching the sun go down. How many people will not see that sun come up? There will be human sacrifices done tonight. This is a dark time. I'm not going to get into that tonight. I hate to be so depressing about things like that. I like to look on the bright side of stuff. I hate to get into dark and depressing subjects, although sometimes you have to. You have to go that route. But I just have to wonder today, how many people will succumb to these dark practices, these blood sacrifices and all that. Because to get into dark witchcraft, you have to do some very terrible things. I mean, very horrible things to obtain the power that you want and to obtain the different levels of that. It's very much like demonic possession. A lot of people do not realize that there are many levels of demonic possession, oppression, or infestation, whatever it may be. There are different levels. And what's so insidious about this stuff, and I'm not going to get into demonology tonight, although it ties in with this night, but what's so insidious about the demonic possession and infiltration and all that stuff is that 9 times out of 10, nobody really realizes they're under demonic power. That's the bad thing about it. That's so insidious, so subtle with this kind of stuff, so sneaky, you know what I mean? So underhanded. That's the way the demonic works. So, and I was telling somebody just today, we've got to get that Hollywood idea out of our mind about the head spinning around and spitting up pea juice and all this junk. We've got to forget that. I've been in some exorcisms. That does not happen once in a great while, stuff like that goes on, but that's not happening on a regular basis. A lot of times, these things are very low key, and the way they play it, they don't overplay their hand. You will not know these people just by looking at them are demonically possessed or under the control of the demonic. A lot of times, that's the way the demonic works. We're going to talk about that again some other night. We'll get deep into that and all, but that's the way this stuff works. Okay. All right, to watch later, heading out to get the hair done and some pampering. Enjoy the show. And don't forget to like, share. Okay, Aussie Sue, go for it, dear. And you catch up with us later. Be careful out there. So anyway, you don't know this, and that's what's going on in the world around us today. A lot of this demonic power and stuff, people under the influence do not realize they're under the influence. I've talked about that before. They come to themselves after shooting up a school or a restaurant or something, and they say, "Why did I do that for?" I'll tell you why. Because you were under demonic control sometimes. It's not every time, of course, not every time. You can't paint all this with that broad brush I always talk about. But a lot of times that's what's going on. And you've got to be very careful when you deal with this stuff in that way. But that's the way evil works. Evil misrepresents itself. But sometimes evil comes out full blown right in your face. And there's no denying it. There's nothing sneaky about it. It's right in your face. We see this with a lot of music artists and sports celebrities and stuff nowadays. They're pushing it out there. They're not trying to hide that anymore. And that's why, because they realize they can get away with it. Nobody's going to say anything to them, That's not going to hurt them. It probably will increase their popularity. They're banking on that, Absolutely. But anyway, we've got to realize that is the way evil works in our world. We've got to understand that's the way it's out there. And tonight, you may not see witches dancing around the bonfire, but believe me, they are out there somewhere. Okay, without a doubt. I have seen them, and I know, what they do, the things that they do, and how they do these things. Hello, John Foreman. Good to have you here. Happy Walpurgis night to you, too. Let's hope it's a good Walpurgis night, not a bad one. But like I was saying earlier, this is the most evil night of the year, supposedly. And there's a reason why. It's not just the witches dancing and the satanic practicing. It is a very demonic night. There are evil spirits out and about, wandering more so now than ever before. And one thing, the reason I brought that up about the demonic is, and I was telling this to somebody today too, there's a lot of people out there walking around that are human beings, but they are possessed and do not even realize it, that they are possessed. Like I said earlier, there are different levels, different stages of this. There's some people out there walking around under the control of evil spirits, without a doubt, okay? That goes with the territory. We know that. I'm not saying there's a tremendous amount of them out there. I don't know. I haven't taken a poll on it. But there are some definitely out there walking around. And, I've always said that there are things out there walking among us that are not human. Some are human, but they're under the influence of some things that are not human. But then you've got beings that are not human at all. They just look that way. Those are the ones you got to watch out for, too, especially on a night like Walpurgis night. Absolutely. We should form into John Votron and go out patrolling on Walpurgis. That would be neat. I had an incident. I'm going to tell you a little story I had, something that happened to me one Walpurgis night. And I was filming. I was doing some paranormal research outside of a cemetery. And like I told you before, where I live, it is against the law to go into a cemetery after sundown. And what I was doing, I was on the sidewalk. I was right outside this cemetery, and I was filming into the cemetery I was doing a video thing, okay? And I don't even know, I don't think I still have that video anymore. But I should have kept all this stuff over the years. I know I could kick myself for not doing it. Anyway, I was filming down into the cemetery, and all of a sudden, something just walked right in front of my. I could see it because I was looking through the viewfinder. It walked. It wasn't a moth. I've had moths flying away. I've had flies and other things. It was nothing like that. This was actually somebody walked right in front of me, and there was no traffic in this cemetery. Okay, it was dark. There were no streetlights out there. I was taking infrared film. Okay, night vision, and I could see him walk right in front of me. And I looked up and I said, "Who is that?" There's nothing there. And I looked all through the cemetery. There was nowhere they could have went without me seeing them, unless they just fell flat on the ground and hid. And I don't think they did that. But it was very freaky to happen on Walpurgis night. Um, that was one incident that happened. Uh, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please, and ring that notification bell. And if you haven't subscribed, you're just passing through, please subscribe. Please share and like. Okay, thank you so much. Midwest, I'll put that up for everybody there for a few minutes. That's my brother Midwest there. He must have already finished supper on us here. Okay. So anyway, down there, and yeah, Voltron. Yeah, I remember him. He was a big guy. Yeah, we need Voltron around. Where's Voltron at when we really need him? You know what I'm saying? He could probably go ahead and take care of Ukraine in a hurry. He could kick all the Russians out of Ukraine in one day, no problem with it. Yeah, it wasn't big bugs, I don't think. I don't know what that was. It was, but I mean, I could actually see the figure of somebody walking. I could see the legs. Went right in front of me. It wasn't right up against the camera, you understand? It was out in the cemetery. But I mean, it was right in front of where I was sitting up. That was freaky. I could not explain that. Now, I'm not saying it was a ghost or evil spirit. I don't know what it was. But I could never explain it, and I couldn't find a true explanation for it. But it was freaky. Yeah, same thing with Superman. Where is he at? I mean, where are you at, Superman? Yeah, what's going on? We'll have to call Lois and get her, get him on the move here. Where's Buffy? Buffy would have come in handy several times with me, but she never showed up. The high days in the occult world every month. Remember that calendar? Hell yeah, that's right, Red Pill. Absolutely, and this is one of them. This is one of the big nights for the occultics, the occultic side of this world. This is a big night for the satanic. A lot of people accuse me of satanic panic, but this is going on. Now, I'm not saying it's, I don't know if it's out of hand completely. Like I say, I didn't take a poll on it, but I know without a doubt it exists. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it firsthand. I know it's real. And I'll say what I said before, okay? I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I'm not going to tell you anything that's not true if I can help it. Definitely not. It's short where are all the superheroes at. That's right. Well, I guess we'll just have to fill in for them there, Freaky Geek. We'll just have to fill in for them till they show up, okay? But, spiritually speaking, we are the superhero. There you go. Okay, probably stuck in another dimension. In another parallel world there, probably. No doubt about it. But anyway, I just wanted to have a little special tonight and talk about that. I got a couple other things I'm going to talk about besides Walpurgis night. But if you get creeped out and you feel the chills for no reason, keep a watch on your six, okay? If you remember what night it is, okay? I got something else I want to show you here. Woo Rider's here. Hello. Good to have you here. Godspeed. Yep. I got something I want to show you here. It's a, and we get it up on the screen. Right, got so much junk on here. It takes me a while to find my stuff. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. There we go. This right here is a still from a commercial in Japan. Okay, it's a commercial for Kleenex. All right, and the mother's pulling the Kleenex out, and there's a little baby sitting there next to her. Got his arms folded. He's wearing a green wig with a horn on top of it, and he's painted red. And the baby is sitting there watching her. And when she pulls the Kleenex out, it blows away in the wind. Well, this commercial got banned in Japan because it freaked people out. And they claimed that it's got a curse on it. The commercial had a curse on it. And they said bad things happened to people that even watched this commercial. Now, you can find this commercial on YouTube if you want to be brave enough to watch it. But I thought it was interesting, a cursed commercial, you know. But it was real freaky. It got weird. Suppose it got weird music, and it just says weird things. It's real. I don't know if it's trying to be artistic or what. But why would you paint a baby red, put a green-haired wig and a horn on top of his head? That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that's supposed to be a freaked out, cursed commercial. Okay, I just happened to run across that. I thought I'd share that with you. Kind of weird. And they say that if you watch this commercial at midnight, that it changes. Things change in this commercial. And then there's another story that if you try to tape this commercial, that the baby will turn blue instead of red in the thing. Kind of weird stuff. And everybody that's supposed to have been associated with this commercial is supposed to have died, kind of like the King Tut curse or the poltergeist curse or the exorcist curse. But that's not true because everybody in the commercial, I think, is still alive. Okay, but that's part of the urban myth on it. But that's the cursed commercial. I think a lot of commercials are cursed. But I won't get into that tonight. But anyway, this is supposed to be one. So if you want to check it out, it's on YouTube, I think. Weirdest ghost commercial I've ever seen is little baby's ice cream. Oh, yeah. There's some, you have to wonder where some of these people's minds are in some of this stuff, you know? They don't want any ramen noodles or Thai ramen. Okay. And, but I mean, you know, what I find freaky about that, why was it necessary to paint the baby red, you know, with a green wig and a horn on top of his head? That's just weird. Just trying to be a unicorn or what? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Freaky, yeah, real freaky. Yeah, freaky stuff. But I found it interesting. You know, there are a lot of stories, supposedly, of cursed videos. You remember Ring. You remember the movie Ring, you know. If you watched it, she would come out of the TV after you, you know. There's supposed to be some cursed videos out there. And there is a song. I know the name of the song. Can't think of it right off. I did a lot of research on this. The song is supposed to call the suicide song. And it's so sad. And it's so the music is so depressing that actually it will make you commit suicide if you listen to the song. That's another story about the suicide song. It was an ice cream person eating themselves from the top of the head down. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Crazy, freaky stuff. Yeah. Oh, the Pizza Mountain ate himself to death. Yeah. Yeah, she comes out of the whale on Ring, but supposedly there's a video you can watch that where she'll come out through the TV after you too on that. Yeah. She comes out of the whale on video. I don't watch demonic movies. I don't blame you. They're depressing. But that's weird, you know. And if you were going to have a cursed thing like that, you could do that with a commercial and people wouldn't realize it. So, you know, that would be a smart way, I guess, to go about that if you wanted to put curses on people. Have them watch a commercial. I don't like watch commercials. No, thank you. I'd rather skip them completely. I'm not a commercial person. Although there was this one girl used to be an advertised thing. I think it was like the stuff you put you straighten your teeth. She was a cute little gal. I used to like to watch her. But anyway, uh, that's strange. I thought I'd share that with you. There are some cursed paintings too, like that. There's supposed to be a little girl and a little boy painting, showing them in a window, and then if you look at them long enough, you'll see them move, and it's supposed to have a curse on it too. But a lot of this, of course, is one of my most interested type subjects. It kind of goes into folklore, and that's urban myths. I love urban myths. I've collected a lot of them over the years. Urban myths are fascinating. The things that people believe, and like the friends I told you about, the especially the beautiful young woman that I knew who was a witch. It all comes down to what you want to believe. You know, it's your own personal belief in things. I mean, she knew how I believed, and I knew how she believed, and she even worshipped the gods of Egypt. And then I've known other people who worship the gods of the Norse gods. So it depends on what religion you want to go with, I guess, is what you want to believe, whether it's right or wrong. That's the way they're going to do it. That's the way the human equation is. Yeah, but anyway, that's the way it goes. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Commercials could have a much wider scope than any one curse show. Absolutely. I mean, if I were going to curse something, I'd do a commercial. Somebody watches sooner or later, definitely, and it's over and over and over and over again. You know, the movie might not be shown that many times like the commercial would. Definitely, that would be the perfect tool if you were going to curse somebody, without a doubt. Absolutely. But anyway, that's what I warn people about, and there will be some idiots going out to graveyards tonight, probably messing around. Do not take anything home from the cemetery, because there are a lot of cursed items. They are called curse traps or hex traps that these people will put out in cemeteries. And you don't realize as you pick up and take this item home with you, you're taking a lot more than just the item with you. You're taking a curse or some bad juju there with you. You don't want that bad luck going back home with you. So you need to be careful of what you bring into your house or what you let into your house. And there's been a lot of talk lately, and I might have to do a show on this pretty soon one day about demonic name calling. People will be in their house, and supposedly a demon will call their name, and the voice will sound familiar. It'll be like their mother, father, or daughter, or son, or whatever. The voice will mimic somebody that they know, and sometimes it'll even use their own voice. I've had a lot of freaky stories with that and cases with that coming up. Oh, thank you. I had it on a little bit there. My neck gets a little chilly sometimes. I was out, it's kind of windy. I was out in the wind a little bit, and I had it on, forgot to take it off. Uh, I'm always, since this is something I've done since I was a little kid, since I was like 4 or 5 years old, I've always worn scarves, something around my neck. I don't know why. It's just me. I don't know why I do that. But it's a bad habit, I guess, that I have. But then I had a bad incident with that when I was about 5 years old. My grandfather had some beehives, and I found bees to be very fascinating. And I went down there to look at the beehives, and I knocked on the beehive, of course. And of course, the bees did not take kindly to that. They attacked me. I was stung over 100 times. And I remember my mother, I had a scarf on, trying to get the scarf off around my neck. And I was stung all over in the face, at least well over 100 times. And I remember her saying when she got the scarf off that handfuls of bees fell out of my scarf that were around my neck. So it was a bad incident I had with the scarf, but I still have scars on. I didn't learn from it. I knew a witch. She was in the Santeria, Papa Liga. Oh yeah, Papa Liga, and something else called Exu. Yeah, I've heard of that. Some of that voodoo is a corruption of the Catholic religion in some aspects, or take off on it. I'll have to get into that one night. It's an interesting thing. Silk is protective. Oh yeah, I've always wear silk. My scarves are usually silk. I don't use cotton unless it's the back pocket handkerchief. That might be cotton. My cat called me once in the dead night. I heard this weird strangled voice calling from my home. Went to investigate, found my cat. He looked me in the eye and called my name. Well, that's freaky. I'd have to look 2 or 3 times more at that cat and see what was going on with it. Absolutely. I said, what a kitty clever kitten killed him up, never happened again. That's strange. Yeah, the bee story. Yeah. To this day, I am not allergic to bee stings. They don't bother me because I got a full massive dose when I was young. Yeah, I'm lucky to be. There's a lot of times that I should not have been here, Kyle. Absolutely. I'm here for some reason, I reckon. I don't know what, but there's a lot of times I should not have been here. I've been in automobile accidents. I've been in a lot of things. I'll have to get into that one night. All my near death experiences. I've had several of them. Hey, I good to have you here. Better late than never. Okay, that's absolutely no problem. If you're late, you're showing the wrong name. I've known people like that. If they came early or came on time, you say, "All right, where's the real person at? What'd you do with them?" You know? But anyway, yeah. Bees do not take kindly to you knocking on their door. Okay, and remember that. Stay away from beehives unless you got the equipment. But my grandfather, I remember him taking cones out of that beehive. We would eat some of that. Well, that was delicious stuff. Absolutely. And you know the interesting thing about honey, it can exist for thousands of years and still be edible. Wow, did you ever get the dose? No, 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 I didn't. And if you're late, you should say, you should hear. Yeah, some was, yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad I'm here, still here too. Same with wasps and hornets. Don't mess with the nest. Don't tell you what I did one time. This is crazy. You know, when you're young, you do crazy stuff. And I had read about this. You know, I always was reading about something. And I read that if you encounter a hornet swarm, if you will stay absolutely still, they will think you're a tree. Okay. Moving, you'll be a target. But when you're absolutely still, they will ignore you. So I rocked. It was a big hornet nest out in the woods I found one day. So I rocked it, threw a rock into it, and they come swarming out. And I stood completely still. I didn't move a muscle, and they were all around me. There was a cloud on, but not a. But there was one stupid hornet. Okay, there was one hornet that said, "I'm not gonna fall for this." He lit right on my hand and stung me about 4 or 5 times, but I could not move. I had to let him do it because if I had moved, they would have all got me. So if you're ever encountering a hornet swarm, stay absolutely still, okay? Because if you move, they'll come after you. But there's always one smart aleck in the crowd, and he was the smart one, I guess. Yeah, to test that one. Yeah, I thought sure it was gonna work. Yeah, my nephew remembers that. There's a few hornets. Yeah, I remember a few hornets. Yeah, definitely. We did crazy stuff like that. And I used to spend so much time. I was telling this to a friend of mine the other day, Carlito. I said I used to spend so much time when I was a kid, so much time out in the woods. I mean, I lived in the woods. Okay, I built my own log cabin in the woods. So there you go. And he said, yeah, that's why you even did that. No, David, I said, just being stupid, I guess, testing a theory out the wrong way. Don't ever do that. Do it the correct way and not the wrong way. These things will knock most people down when they, oh yeah, they are bad. The hornet, I'll tell you what's worse than the hornet. I've been stung by everything. The worst thing you can get stung by is the bumblebee, the regular. These are not they're different types of bumblebees. There's the carpenter bee, is what it's called. But these were the little black bumblebees. Those suckers will hurt, buddy. So they got big stingers on them. And worse than that is the stupid yellow jackets. Those darn things. They hurt. They don't swell you up. They just hurt. I've been stung by everything. I've been spider bit. I've been bit by scorpions. The works. Okay. Everything one time or another. I've been getting snake bit. I mean, Yeah, it was a pretty good sized log cabin, John Foreman. Yes, it was. Red Walls build nests in the same location every year. Same then. Oh yeah. Yeah, they are freaky little things. All right. I don't like none of them, actually. They don't like me either. Scorpion stings hurts. Yes, it does. It is a painful little sting to it, too. They bite you and then sting you, by the way. They grab you with the things and then sting you. Yeah. You rocked everybody's nest. Yeah, I did it one time or another. I rocked a few nests in my time, yeah. Metaphorical and otherwise. Okay. That's why one of my favorite sayings is I say what I mean and I mean what I say. And sometimes it don't go good with some people. I've had that happen too. I react to yellow jackets, Melissa. Oh yeah, they hurt. They hurt. Now some people they'll swell up. They don't swell me up, but they hurt. Yeah, I don't like to get stung. No matter, I don't have a bad reaction from it, but it still hurts. I mean, I don't like to get it done. Like a whirl and test the nest. Freaky Geek says absolutely. Nest. On the rocks. Hope you did not eat them, Scott. No, I didn't eat it. But I had I was spitting them out. They were getting all. I remember it well. I was about 4 years old. But I still remember it. You don't forget nothing like that. They stung me all over my face, my head, all around my neck. My eyes swelled shut. But there was well over 100 stings to that. And luckily, they weren't African bees. Okay, they were just regular honeybees. They weren't the African variety. They can sting you. A honeybee can only sting you once, and then that's it. But the African bees can sting you, and like hornets, they can sting you over and over and over and over again. That's what's so bad about hornets. And like I say, you usually run into one that's very big on stinging. You know what I mean? Let's see. Fire ants can create painful. Yeah, I hate fire ants too. Those little pesky devils. They hurt too and they itch too as well. They don't swell me up, but they make little sores on you though eventually if you're not careful. What do you think about bees showing up at haunted locations? I've had that happen. I remember one time we went in this old house. Sometimes they'll be in old houses in the walls, and I remember seeing this wall, and I thought it was water damage, and I touched it a little bit, And about that time, some bees come out, and I looked at my hand. I said, "Doggone, it was honey seeping through the walls of this house." So I knew on the other side of that wall was a big honeybee nest in there. You never know what you're gonna run into in some freaky paranormal locations. Absolutely. Thank you, Midwest. We'll put that up for people that need to know. That is my website. You can reach me anytime through that. If you have any questions or whatever. Hate those ground yellow jackets. Yeah, yellow jackets. Used to run over those things with a lawnmower sometimes, man. They'd come after you big time. Better honey than blood. Oh yeah. I agree with you on that too. I've seen some blood on the walls too, but that's another story. Yeah. I just, like I said, no, I'm not trying to be egotistical here. I'm not saying that. It's not an ego trip, okay? Don't take me wrong way. But I wish that you could just see what I have seen through my eyes. Or maybe you might not be happy about that. I really don't want to wish that on you, but I wish I could just show you a little bit. you would understand some things maybe. But there's a lot of things I've seen that I would like to have unseen in my time. Car days, a wasp in the door jamb making a nest. I knocked it out and closed the door. Yeah, they'll get in your car. I've had several people tell me they've actually had car wrecks because of getting stung by a wasp. And here's the bad thing about it: a wasp is very bad to light on you and ride you somewhere. You get in the car with it on you and not even know it. I had that happen to me one time, and it stung me while I was driving my truck. I was going down the highway, and it stung me right here on. What happened was I didn't know it was on me, and I put my seatbelt on, and the seatbelt went over the wasp, and it stung me right there on my stomach, right below my chest. And you talking about a weird feeling you get while you're going down a busy highway. You're getting stung. That's a bad situation. I found a few things I seen and heard about. There you go. That was the scariest. What was the scariest thing you ever saw? Oh God, that's a long list of things. I tell you what, during an exorcism, you talk about stuff of nightmares. During an exorcism, I saw a person's face change to a very reptilian looking thing. That's why I say reptilians, I don't think are aliens. I think they're downright demonic in that respect. If I don't think they can come from outer space. They may want you to believe that. But I think reptilians are something else altogether. But I've actually seen somebody's face turn into that. I mean, right, and I wasn't the only one that saw it. Okay, there were other people there with me that witnessed it too. But you to see something change so dramatically from something human to inhuman like that it's not scary. It's just sort of shocking. You know what I mean? In that respect. I used to drive a truck. I would have guessed a vintage Cadillac. I would love to have a Cadillac hearse, but that's another story. I would like to just drive up to the hearse in somebody's driveway and just stick my hand out and motion for them and see what happens. But anyway, I've always wanted a hearse, just for the heck of it. But no, I have a truck. I have a 4-wheel drive Chevrolet Z71. What's left of it? One experience to stay with you forever, no matter how hard you try to forget. It's always there. Sometimes it's what nightmares are made of. Absolutely, Melissa. And it affects your soul. It puts a sort of a dark bruise on your soul, a scar. I've got a lot of scars on my soul, okay, from these kind of things. Definitely. And yes, I guess it would be some of that stuff would be the stuff of nightmares for some people. I think I have been given, I think, I'm just human though, okay? I'm just as human as you are. I don't put myself any better than you, any of you. Don't ever think I do. I don't. But I think I have been given certain gifts that preserves me through the things that I have experienced because I think without them, things that I've seen might have actually driven some people over the edge, you know? Screaming and running away if you beckon from a hearse. I always thought that was a fun thing there, but anyway, it probably would get some reaction, definitely. Should have bought a Ford. I know, I regret that. I like Fords too. But you get what you get when you can afford it. That's the way it goes for me, anyway. An imprint. Yeah, it leaves an imprint on you, girl or gong. And sometimes it's not a good imprint. Absolutely. My scars have scars. Okay. There you go. It is that scars you for life. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but this is very true. Every time you face the darkness, and I'm talking about fighting it, whenever you go engage something in spiritual warfare, and we're talking about intense spiritual warfare, it takes a piece of you with it. It takes a piece of you away. It does. It just, luckily, there's some pieces of me left, but not as many as I once had. It takes a toll. It takes a price on you. In that respect, it's hard to explain but that's what it does. And I try to, and I've talked to a lot of young people that wanted to get into the field, people that wanted me to mentor them in these things. I said, are you ready to pay that price? Are you really ready to pay that price? I've had some back off from it. Some say, yeah, I will. But they really don't, I don't think, understand what they're getting into, you know? Yeah, it changes you. It changes you. You're not happy with it. It's not a happy thing. It's not a happy-go-lucky thing. Okay, it is definitely not. That's why I said I've seen some things I'd like to unsee. When you work in law enforcement and EMS, you definitely can have nightmares. You learn to put up on a wall of sorts to protect yourself. You have to. You have to have that edge of protection around you. And I would not dream tonight if you and I were to go walking to someplace knowing that it is infested with the demonic or there's some kind of evil spirit, there's something bad juju going on here or whatever, I would not dream of walking into there without protection, spiritual protection is what I'm talking about now. Also, I would not go without physical protection. I carry a gun with me wherever I go. Whether if you don't face the spiritual, you face the physical in this world. Okay, but I would not dream of going into and coming out of anything like that without spiritual protection around you, because that's a foolish thing. That's just like saying, not although no matter how much you hate your seatbelt, no matter how much you really hate your seatbelt, and I don't like them either, you need to see what somebody looks like after they go through a windshield. Then you will like your seatbelt a whole lot better if it keeps you in there. You know what I'm saying? I accidentally learned how to swear spelling forward wrong. Okay, I hear you, free geek. Okay. Well, maybe innocence is a better word, yeah. Takes a bit of joy out of your day. It takes a lot of the innocence out, yeah. Some things you have to experience to understand, then you can't unknow it. That's very true. Absolutely. Absolutely. And until you walk a mile in their shoes, you never know what that person's journey is. But I have advised a lot of people that really, unless, let me say this about demonology, unless God calls you into that, you don't need to be in it. That's just me. That's my opinion. I think if you don't have the calling spiritually to go into that, you don't need to go into it. Okay, because you can end up destroying. You're dealing with things that are not good, and they could not be very beneficial for you. My mother worked in a seatbelt factory and heard that once or twice the body was cut in half because seatbelts are either too tight or too loose. Yeah, if they're not fitting, you always should make sure your seatbelt fits you correctly and is operating correctly. Um, but if you're going that fast to be cut in half with a seatbelt, the seatbelt's not going to do you much good anyway. You need to slow down. The slower you are, the better way you'll come out of it. What would you consider to have been your call? I don't know. I guess the mystery of this world, this universe, has always called to me. Uh, the mysteries along, and demonology is part of that mystery. The demonical thing aspects of this world are there. Can't ignore them. Although I don't live and drink and breathe demons all the time. I don't. They're not my favorite subject. I have had to deal with them. I've had to help people with them, and that's okay. I guess that could be called a calling. I've been in that position. Maybe I was where I was supposed to be at the right time to help someone. Maybe I hope so, that I was used that way for good and not bad. It's like the Hippocrates oath: do good and especially do no harm. Do good all you can and do no harm. And that's, I hopefully did no harm as much as possible. But there were, you do have to question some things sometimes that you get involved with. Why am I there? What am I doing it for? And you hope you're there for all the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. But I guess it is a calling in many aspects. but it's always called to me. And I think I had experiences that pulled me into it for a reason. I think it was my destiny in a way, my fate to go that route. Was there a point you could have refused it and turned back? Oh, absolutely. Been many points. I could have walked away. I could walk away anytime from it. Nothing ever really held me in that respect, but I didn't want to walk away. To me, that's not somebody asked me not long ago, when are you going to retire? I said, how can I? It's just too darn fascinating. How can I ever stop? It's like a drug, you can never get enough of it. I'm talking about, the interesting aspects of of the fields of the paranormal, not just demonology. Demonology is fascinating in the fact of how people react. You know what? It interests me more. It's not what the demonic does, it's how people react to it and how it does them, how the human equation of it. I know what the demonic is. I know they're downright evil, nasty spirits. They have no good or redeeming factor at all to them. They're vermin. They're worse. They're lower than roach bugs. Okay, I mean they're just filth and scum. I got nothing to do with them. I got no feeling for them at all. Uh, they're vermin. They're like pests. It's the human equation that you've got to be concerned with. I mean, that's what you have to look at. And how can you walk away from a fellow human being that needs your help? I couldn't do that, you know, not anytime. If I can help, I'm definitely not gonna walk away. We need cars that have foam from Demolition Man. Yeah, that would be it. Well, I've heard of a lot of bad things about the bags, but they have saved a lot of lives too. A lot of people have walked away from very bad car crashes with inflation bags. Have really saved their lives sometimes. It just depends. If it's your time, it's your time. If it's not your time, it's not going to be time for you to go. Okay. Would that not suffocate the passenger? That might. Roach entrails. Yeah, lower than that. Okay. Hello, Twisted. You're only late when you replay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I couldn't, if I helped. I don't know, but it was a movie. Yeah. Well, everything you see in the movies is not real, not true. It might seem kind of good until you actually do it in real life. That's why I was talking about exorcisms, like you see in the movies. That's Hollywood. You got to remember everything you ever see in the movies. You got to take it with a big box of salt, not just a grain, but a big box of salt, because that's Hollywood. They expound things, they embellish things, they exaggerate things. Okay, because that's how they make their money. Okay, it's all about the money. I know I've dealt with these Hollywood people. They wanted to give me a TV show on several times. I can't tell lies like that. I can't get up there and be something I'm not. They didn't like the way I done it. I do it the correct way. They actually wanted me to be some kind of Bible thumping superhero kind of a thing and go in and I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that tonight. There's weird stuff. I don't know. I could not do that. That's not real. I mean. The beekeeper owner is honey that flammable. Yeah, I have to wonder about that too. I have to try that out. I have to get some honey and see if it'll flame up. I doubt it. There's got to be a better way for safety. I flipped my car off the Interstate 90 north in Jacksonville, Florida. Rolled 7 times. Hit not a scratch on me. No seatbelt and driver window was rolled down. You were meant to live through that, Rider. Definitely. It's not luck. I think it's fate and destiny. Okay. Luck only goes so far. And don't ever forget, the luck of the devil will only get you so far, and then he drops you over the ledge. I know, I've seen him do it. Like I said, and I don't joke about this, there are people 6 foot under tonight that I know were put there by the dark and evil forces in this world. I'm not talking about human either. I'm talking about inhuman things. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it happen. I've seen people burnt to death and horrible ways to die. Uh, that's what the enemy will do to you. Okay. Fate. That's it. Fate. Destiny, Kismet, whatever name you want to give it. If it ain't your time, it ain't your time. Absolutely. My white candle is still burning. Okay. I think I need a better candle holder than that one there. I think that's more for luminaries than actual real candles. But anyway. Well, I'm glad we got together tonight. Let's see, what time is it? Well, it's been almost an hour. I hope the rest of your uh, Walpurgis night will be safe and secure. Uh, do you think that person that set himself on fire in front of Trump's courthouse was ritualistic? I think he was demonically influenced to do that. You have to be to do stuff like that, either very, very badly mentally ill, or both. I was watching a priest the other day, and he's an exorcist. He was talking about some of the worst places he's ever been in are mental wards, because that's where the demonic works overtime. They hide behind these mental illnesses and use them as weapons and tools against humanity. And you never know what you're dealing with in that situation. Somebody that will set yourself on fire is not thinking correctly, okay? Definitely not. I find you that's what I find fascinating. The storage share, teaching the rest of what is out there. Well, I want to share with everyone what's out there and keep sharing that with them. I think it's important that you know, because when I'm gone, the history's gone. Okay. Uh, and that's the sad thing about it. When anybody dies and they cast off that mortal coil, there's a lot of history, personal history that goes with them. And that's why I tell people write down everything for posterity, especially. At least you'll have to leave behind a written record. We were hit head on, wasn't wearing a seatbelt, rushed from the waist down. Paramedic told my husband I had 3 minutes to live. Doctor told my family I wouldn't live or walk. I lived and walked. You know why John said farm? Because it wasn't your time. You know, the Bible says for everything there is a season, a reason for everything under the sun. And it says a very interesting statement. If you think it was of old, no, it was. If you think it's new, it was of old times before. So what it said, there's no new thing under the sun. Very interesting statement. But there is a time to live and a time to die. Your time, there's a time for you, and then one day your time passes, and your time's no more there for you. That's it. That's just the way the universe works, the way it's all set up. Yep. The guy could have been attacked by a military microwave weapon. Well, you never know. There's a lot of freaky stuff going on out there, definitely, and a lot of dark militaristic operations going on in this world. Believe me, I've seen some of it myself. If it's a bandana or what, but you're looking handsome now. Well, thank you. It's probably the bandana. Okay. Uh, write more books. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to write as many books as I would like to write. I'm working on it. Um, the things that I have experienced will take a lot more than one book. It will take many books. There's a lot out there to experience. But that's what podcasts are good for. We can share those experiences, you know, and drive home. That's fine, Mr. Moon. That's fine. Just keep your attention on the road, okay? I was in a car accident, went through a windshield, and was in coma when I was 19. Oh yeah, I almost went through a windshield one time, but that's another story. But like I say, Most of the time, when you go through the windshield, you leave your face on it. That's why it's good to have, if that seatbelt can help you in some way and keep you in there, you know, it's a good thing. I mean, it's better than nothing, you know. It's not pamphlets, it's manifesto. Someone was reading it on the tube. He wasn't crazy. I don't know. Well, I don't know. If you set yourself on fire, it's not a good mental health thing to do. Well, I'm locking the haircut. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I had to get the old ears lowered a little bit there. It was getting a little shaggy. People were beginning to think I was like standing in for Bigfoot. And we have lived these exact lives already before. No, I think this is a one-time thing. You know, the good book says, it is appointed unto man once to die, and then the judgment. This is a one-time thing around, you know. We got to get it right the first time. All right, because there ain't no coming back from that. I don't believe that. I've seen some people that swear on reincarnation, but I do not believe it exists. If reincarnation exists, then everything the Bible said has been a lie. I don't go that route. That is a big lie sent out by the enemy. Don't buy that stuff. Girl, you're definitely a miracle. Be safe and good night. Good night, sweet pea. You leaving now? Well, it's okay. Um, be careful out there if you go out. Everyone here, all right, good. Good to have somebody know you got somebody that's got your six. PTSD can make a person do things they wouldn't normally do. The demons inside can eat you alive. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sayings here lately. Keep your demons on the highway behind you. That's where they deserve to be, not in front of you, not riding with you. They need to be on the highway behind you. Okay? That's where they need to be. Your personal demons, I'm talking about. Okay, we all have personal demons. Okay. We have an arcane opinion regarding organ transplants. There's been a lot of contention about that. There was, I think, a famous episode on that TV series I used to watch, Erie, Indiana, where this little boy uh, loved this little girl or something, and he got killed, and they donated his heart to her. She needed a heart or something like that. And sort of like she was kind of acting like him a little bit or something weird. Would you act like the person whose heart you had? Actually, I don't think so. I go with science on that. Your heart is a muscle. That's not where the seat of your emotion is. We always say the heart. That's a metaphor. The seat of your emotions is your soul. It's intangible. It's all over you. It's not in your brain. It's not in your liver. It's not in your heart. Your soul is in you until it exits your body. But when it comes to organs, just because you get someone's organ does not make you like them. There's been a lot of stories about that. That's not, I don't think, or the eyes or whatever organ you get. I think it's a wonderful thing that you love your fellow man enough to donate your organs to help other people. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm all for it. Absolutely. Yes, I have someone living at home with us that has PSD. It can be difficult, it's scary, but when it happens, I pray for heaven for it. Yeah, it's a bad situation all the way around for people with them and them too, you know. Everybody suffers on that. Some people never learn to deal with their past trauma. Yeah. Some people cannot forgive themselves for things that they have done, and that holds them back too. You need to forgive yourself for things that you've done, no matter how bad they are. You need to move on from that, you know, and not get hung up on it. People get hung up on stuff in the past. The past is the past. You can't go back and do anything about it. The past, you can't change the past. Only you can change now and the future. The heart and stomach both have brain cells. When you say, I know it in my heart or gut, there's something. Well, yeah, they have cells like all the rest of your body, and that could be where your soul inhabits the cells of your body. no matter where that's at. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think there's one central place for it. Yes, it's bad. I've been diagnosed with as well for my time in the service. So yeah, traumatic society since the big C. Yeah, we have brought, I think, a lot of the cancer upon ourselves because of the chemicals that we put. This world, by the way, has been infected. Right now, it's infected big time, worse than any disease, by plastics. The plastic fibers are in our hearts. They're in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food that we eat. This world is inundated with plastic. That was the worst thing we could have ever invented. I think cancer went up big time when plastic came on the scene, more so than ever before. I think it's always been with us in certain forms or another, sort of like a genetic mutation type thing. But I think it really took off, you know. And I had a surgeon tell me one time. Now I don't know if this is an actual surgeon told me this. He said if you ever find out you got cancer, don't let them operate because when the air hits it, it goes wild. So you'll live longer if you don't get operated on. That's what he told me. That was a surgeon told me that. Dennis said, did you see the study they have done to try and weigh the soul? They weighed the person right before. Yeah, well, the soul may have a little weight to it. It has essence to it. It may have a little weight to it. That would not surprise me a bit. I've heard about that experiment. I have to wonder about their instrumentation, though, how very delicate it was and how very finely tuned it was. Because I've had to deal with scientific, and if you don't calibrate them correctly, you'll get a wrong reading every time. You've got to have that calibration exactly right. Then it's the insanity as we continue to use it. Yeah, yeah. I know it. Plastics inundate everything. It's awful. Absolutely. It's the worst thing, you know. I tell you what I'm going to start doing. That's my own self. I feel better about it. I don't want any more plastic bags at the grocery store. I'm going to tell them, give me paper, please. If you got that choice, take the paper. I'm going to take the paper. I'm sick of these little parachutes flying around every time the wind blows, hanging up in trees, poor birds and animals getting stuck with this stuff. I'll never forget one time I seen a poor old robin that had a darn 6-pack holder, you know, a little plastic 6-pack holder stuck on its leg, and it was probably going to kill it. You know, I wish I could have caught it and got it off. It wouldn't do it with a second, but it's pitiful to see the price that nature is paying for this crap all around us, you know. I try to recycle plastics, but you know that's another big lie. They're telling us they're recycling all this stuff. That is not true. They are not. They're sending it to third world countries to be put in dumps. It's not being truly recycled. That is one of the biggest lies that corporate America is telling us. 24 grams. Oh yeah. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Wizard Moon. If you got PTSD, definitely we will be praying for you, sir. Absolutely. Because that is a bad thing to have to live with. Some people that don't have it, don't really realize what it is truly like. I don't have it, but I mean, I've seen what it does to people. You know, it's not good. It's another price for war that you pay. You know. Passing pollution aren't the only fault of the little people. It's done to us, and then we get blamed for it. Oh yeah, I am. That's the way it goes in this world. But we're being lied to big time. And that's all really sticks in my craw. Okay, it sticks right here, and I can't swallow it. The lie after lie after lie. They keep feeding us day in day out. They think we're stupid. I'm gonna tell you something about me. Okay, there's one thing you never do to this old boy. You never insult my intelligence, okay? Don't ever do that. That's the one thing, that's the one line you don't ever cross with me. And they are insulting our intelligence, folks. And that ain't good. I don't like to see anybody done that way. Not just me. I don't like to see anybody done that way. I mean, to insult your intelligence is the worst insult of all in my book, okay? And that's what they're doing to us. They're feeding us a bunch of lies. They think they're so smart. You know, you're going to eat the bugs while we eat the filet mignon kind of crap. They're pushing on us here. And by the way, tonight, there will be people eating tonight. Let me say that one more time. There will be people cannibalistically eating tonight in ceremonies. Okay. I know that don't sound good, but that you can take that to the bank. It's happening. Okay. Big time. Yeah, they've been feeding us lies for many years. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's their language. They can't. I'm gonna tell you something, okay? Now listen very closely to what I'm about to say, and I'm not trying to get on the bandbox tonight. I'm not preaching a sermon here, okay? But when you lie to me one time, okay, listen to me. If I catch you in a lie, you lie to me one time, and for the rest of your days, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take everything you say with a big box of salt, because if you lied to me one time, that probably means you will do that again in the future. And that's what they're doing to us. And we can't trust anything they say. Once you catch them in one lie, how can you ever believe them again? How can you ever trust them again? You can't. It's hard to do, you know? That's what happens to relationships between men and women. They lie to get caught up in lies and lie to each other. That destroys the relationship quicker than anything else on this planet. That's what'll do it, buddy. I don't care if they're having affairs or they go, whatever the situation. When they start lying to each other, that destroys trust. That's the foundation of any relationship. That is the true foundation of humanity. When you do away with trust, that's it. If a judge catches you in one lie, then he throws the rest of your testimony out the door. I've seen him do it. Okay? And that's the way it ought to be. Because once you lie to lie, as Shakespeare said. Okay? What a horrible thought. I've been scared of cannibals and accidental cannibalism all my life, and a vegetarian. There are people that are going to be eaten tonight because that's part of the ceremonies, my friend. That is, see, when you get over that bridge of darkness and you go over into the dark forever and you don't come back, most of the time you don't. When you cross that bridge, everything that's taboo no longer exists for you. All the rules are gone. That includes homosexuality, sex with children. That includes eating people, murdering your siblings. Whatever the situation is, all the rules are gone. That's a horrible way to live, my friend. Horrible. And horrible things are done by these people because that gives them more of the evil power that they seek. Book Beyond the Shadows, Seal Guide to the Paranormal. Thank you, sir. I'll put that up. If you don't have that book, you need it, okay? It will tell you a lot. And by the way, it's available in Kindle as well from Amazon. I think it's only like $2 or $3 as a Kindle thing, okay? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, as Gomer Pyle used to say. Yep. They sacrifice people tonight. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. It's happening right now. And we'll go on for the rest of this evening. That's why I'm not on here having a fun time trying to scare you, okay? That's not what I'm up to. No, I'm not down to that. I'm not trying to get on dark subjects now. I'm just warning you, that's what tonight's about. But look, let me tell you this. It can happen any night or any day, okay? It don't have to be Walpurgis night. But it is a big night for them, and it is one of their festivals, one of the times that their power is at its height, the darkness, okay? That's why the veil thins. Power of darkness is at its height. But it can happen anytime, anywhere. I know, I've seen it. And I know without doubt it's going on right now. And no matter how taboo it is, having sex with your sister or whatever the situation is, they're going to do it. That's just the way that ball rolls, friends. Sorry to say. Taboo for a reason, absolutely. I have it. Great book. Oh, thank you, John. Good. I'm glad you're here. Best we can do is laugh together in the face of darkness. Well, The best other thing we can do is fight that darkness when it shows up. It's kind of like whack-a-mole. You remember whack-a-mole? The game, with the little moles that stick your head about and you hit it with a thing, That's what it is. Whenever evil pops up, whack it. As best you can. Hey, wow. Gotta go, rise. God bless you all. You be safe. Enjoy life. All right, John, take care. Have a good evening. I'm going to turn you all loose and let you get back to whatever it is you were doing. It's after, so it's about 9, going on 9:30 now. It's been interesting. So be careful out there tonight. And remember, keep an eye on your 6, okay? Keep your head on a swivel and the eye on the 6 there. And be very careful where you go and what you do, and be aware of your surroundings, okay? And we will meet again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for my series, Creatures of the Night, okay? We're going to get into some wild stuff. You're going to have a lot of creatures of the night in your future here, okay? On this show, anyway. And I hope to see you all tomorrow night, and God willing, and the creeks don't rise. We'll meet here at 9 o'clock for episode 33 of Hunting the Shadows. I want to appreciate you all for being here tonight and spending some time with me. Let's be careful for the rest of Walpurgis night. And yeah, I thought I would have a little something, I throw a little special. I like to catch you off guard every now and then. I may throw a little special at you once in a while, okay? That's just me. I like surprises, okay? Back in the old days, talk about reincarnation, I was a knight in armor, and my name was Surprise. Okay? That's a joke. Okay, but anyway, I'm glad you got to be here with us tonight on Walpurgis night. And stay safe out there till we get together again. Remember that Veritas and Equitas, that means truth and justice, okay? And don't forget my favorite, Omnia exuit in mysterium. All things end in mystery. So embrace the mystery. Hunting the Shadows.